What's going on, guys? NealGuides here. Welcome back to another video. Now in today's video, we're going to go over some meta 4-4-2 tactics and instructions. Now don't forget, this is not for the 4-4-2 second variation, this is for the 4-4-2 flat. So this is a more attacking formation where you play with two strikers when a centre mid joins the attack, and it becomes a very attacking formation. What's also to note is, unfortunately right now, it's patch season. So you've almost got a new patch every single week out for it's like almost every week is a new patch. So things have changed. So let's go straight into tactics instructions and I'll explain to you how everything works as usual. Now it's very important that you pay attention to the reasonings that I give, because certain things have changed and have been adapted to the most recent patch, and especially new generation. Just want to say as well, if you do enjoy this video, don't forget to subscribe for more content on my channel, more formation videos. But let's get straight into the video. So defensive style, we have gone with pressure and every touch. This is important because don't forget, this is an attacking formation. If you are going to use this for the entirety of the game, this is important. If you're going to use this formation for the entire game, I'd recommend using balance. If not, you're just going to use it, let's say for example, if you're losing or if you're drawing, then you're better off using pressure on every touch. That way, the game will help you. As you can see over here, my opponent has the ball, he makes a heavy touch, he takes a touch towards his own goal. My players automatically start pressing. So think of it like team press, but only split seconds, but the game only does it for you when there's a good chance of winning the ball. Now in terms of the width, now this is the thing. Width, we've gone with 6. Now 4-4-2 naturally is quite a wide formation. Yes, I'm aware of that. But with pressure on every touches, the wider you are, it's easier for you to press your opponent. So that's why you want to have a wider stature when you're defending. So when your opponent has the ball, it's easier for you to press. So don't forget, this is attacking formation. So you want to get the ball back as soon as possible. You want to be wide as possible as opposed to being narrow, covering up most of the pitch. Now with the depth, we've gone with 5. I think left it on balance for the same reason, is that if you have too much depth and you have too much impression every touch, there is a chance you could get exploited down the wing. With push and every touch and a high depth, you have a good combination of you're high up the pitch. That way when you press, you're not pressing from too far deep, because if you've got low depth, you're going to be pressing forward. It's hard for you to press because you're going to lose a lot of stamina. So we've gone with 5. That way you're already higher up the pitch, and then it's easier for you to press when you do lose the ball or when you want to get the ball back. Now going over to the offensive style, I've gone with balance. Now you might have seen me use long ball in my other videos. Now the reason why we've gone with balance is most of the players are naturally quite high up anyway, and when you're losing in the game, you don't want to be playing counter-attack. You need to break through your opponent's back line. How is with your two strikers. Don't forget, with a 4-4-2, you got your two strikers, your left mid and right mid, they come forward, and then one of the centre mids join the attack. So you want balanced on the players. That way players are making runs going forward naturally, but they're not being forced. Don't forget, long ball just means get it behind. I wouldn't really veer towards fast build-up play because it's way too quick. And with pressure every touch and fast build-up play, your stamina will most definitely get killed after the most recent patch. So definitely go with balanced. I wouldn't use position, just a balance is the way I would go. Now for the attacking width, we have gone with 4, but I would personally recommend 3. We don't have the instructions on the left mid and right mid to get it cut inside, or can come inverted, should I say. We'll get on to that in a second in the instructions. So that's why we've gone with a width of 3, because when I attack my 4-4-2, yes, when you attack with a 4-4-2, but I don't want them to be so wide where they're completely out of the game. I want my two strikers to have support of the left mid and right mid near them. So that's why I go with an offensive attack of 3, because that way when you're attacking a 4-4-2, your left mid and right mid go forward. At least they're a bit more centralized as opposed to being on the sidelines. And don't forget, if you ever want to have those players on the sidelines, you can just use hug the sidelines anyway. So we've gone with the width of 3 when we're attacking. And then players in the box, we have gone with a 5. Again, we left it on very much on default. You can change this, of course, with the instructions. And corners and free kicks, now even though it's an attacking formation, I still always go with 1 on attacking formations. Now why, you may ask? Well, this is the thing. If you're losing 2-0 and it's 70 minutes, for example, or let's say you're losing 2-1, maybe a better example. If you then concede a goal, it's then 3-1. So do you really want to concede a goal and lose the game completely, or still be in the game? Because we know the biggest issues with, I suppose you can say, corners and free kicks are counter-attacks. So you don't want to lose the ball and get countered. It's better off being 2-1, guaranteeing the safety, as opposed to just being all-out attack, taking a risk and getting counter-attacked. Moving over to the structures now. For both the strikers, we have them both on stay central. We have one of the strikers on comeback and offense. Now, this is somewhat important. So when you defend, basically, or you almost defend like in a 4-4-1-1. I like the kind of the parallel line between the striker and the centre forward for the quick 1-2s. But also I think sometimes having one of your strikers come back on defenses helps you when you build up your play, because you kind of got that one player for defensive stability, so it kind of sorts out that cam role. But also when you get the ball back, you'll have that distribution point to a wing area or to, for example, your striker. So it acts like a cam in a build-up play, but then when you get the ball going forward, he is the striker. If you want, you can get in behind on a certain striker like Ben Yedder or someone like Ronaldo. If you like to get in behind, you can do that if you want to, but I prefer to leave mine on balance. So stay central, the one with low stamina on stay forward, the other one on come back and offense. I just want to say, if you do want to get better at FIFA, I do have a paid advanced in-depth FIFA School Series. This is for all levels of those that want to improve in FIFA. This is different from YouTube videos. It's a progressive learning system where all the videos go completely in depth, and you won't find these videos on my YouTube channel. These go beyond the scope of typical YouTube videos. They're very long, elaborate videos explaining what you need to do and what you need to become a better game, explaining everything. So come join hundreds of others in a mature audience community for those looking to get better at FIFA. Link is in the description for more information. Patreon.com/NealGuides. Of course, I have all of last year's videos as well, which all apply to this year, and I'll have new videos coming soon for FIFA 21. And it's a complete money back guarantee. So if after 1 month you decide that you didn't get better at FIFA, I'll refund your money back, and that way you won't lose anything. So come join the FIFA School Series. But anyway, back to the video. Now for the left mid and the right mid, we have just put comeback and offense. That's it. We left it exactly the same. Now, the reason I want comeback and offense is, don't forget, even if you're attacking, if you're playing attacking formation, you still want comeback and offense, especially in a 4-4-2 flat. Now, if you have the 4-4-2 with the second variation with the 2 CDMs, you can get away with being offensive. The issue is with the flat is these 2 centre mids are most of the time too high up on the pitch, so you need that stability. And sometimes, you know, you might have to bring the centre back or your centre mid back in time, and you'll find there's a massive gap. Now this is the thing, when you play this formation, you have to get used to there being a massive gap between the corridor between just back line and your centre mid line. If you cannot deal with that corridor, you can use the exact same tactics and you can change then into a 4-4-2 second variation. But if you're going to use a 4-4-2 flat, it is more attacking, but do bear in mind you will have that space in behind. We have come back on offense. Now I leave the supports on cross on balance, because I think when you're attacking, sometimes your opponent's parking a bus. You don't always want to play to be getting inside the box when you get the ball over here. Sometimes you might want to kind of just cut back and pass the ball to your right mid. So I left it on balance. That way they only get into the box when the game deems is actually a viable option to go forward. I left everything else on balance. If you want, again, you can put get in behind if you want to on your wingers, but I prefer my left mid and right mid not just be going forward. I want them to come short sometimes. That's why I didn't have stay wide, free roam, or cut inside, and that's why I didn't do come short, because I want my game and AI to basically decide what to do, because AI, don't forget, is much more intuitive and smart than you think. They will most of the time make the right decision depending on the scenario. Moving over to one of the centre mids. Now ideally you want a CDM and a centre mid combination. On a higher tier, someone like Vieira, someone like Kullet. On the middle tier, I would say someone like Renato Sanchez and someone like Kante. Or on the cheap tier, someone like Sissoko and someone like Fred. You basically want someone who's very good defensively and someone that's very good offensively. Now, I've gone with a dynamic duo. I've got Renato Sanchez on stay back while attacking, cover center, and we've left him unbalanced again. No conservative interceptions, we left him unbalanced. The more attacking player, we left him unbalanced. Now this is important. Ideally, if you can in this situation, in this role, you ideally want to find a center mid with high work rate. So like if it's high, as in high attacking, high medium is good. I would say high medium is also good, or high low. Someone like Pogba also works really well in this role. As long as this guy has high attacking work rates, it's what's very, very important. If he has got bad work rates, you can basically override this by putting get forward on. But if he's got high attacking work rates, you should be fine leaving this unbalanced. Even though we're not using long ball, he will still make those runs going forward, but he'll be making more progressive, not stagnant, but more dynamic runs when the time is right, if that makes sense. We have also put him on to get inside the box. When you do cross the ball in, he makes that late run in the box, that Ramsey-esque type run inside the box. So you can find the person in behind, and that way you still have one guy staying back. And this is when you attack with your 4 strikers and you add your extra man, so you basically have a 5 striker front. So yeah, so as I said, get into the box, and obviously both of them on cover center. Why would you want cover center? Because don't forget, my left mid and right mids on comeback and offense. So you need these guys to be on cover center. Now going over to left back and right back. Now Because this is a more attacking formation, normally you might see me do something like this, conservative and overlap. But because this is an attacking formation, I have left these just on stay back while attacking. I don't mind them being higher up the pitch because I'm, for example, losing. The one thing I would say is maybe you can leave this unbalanced, but I'll be honest, in my opinion, there is no point leaving balanced on a 4-4-2 because what happens is when these guys go forward, they just stay next to your right mids anyway. Unless this player is on get cut inside, I feel like they do nothing on the wing. So I don't put them on get forward, and plus sometimes you're too susceptible to the counter attack. If you know, for example, you're not an elite 2 player and above, do not leave these guys unbalanced. You have enough players to attack. You have your 4 strikers and you have your CDM joining the attack. So you basically have 3 strikers, you can argue, a left mid and a right mid, and you have 1 CM that you can always trigger manually as well. So that is the 4-4-2 tactics and formation. Now I have this in my defensive slot. Does it matter what slot it's in? No, it doesn't matter. I'll have an updated full tactics and instructions tomorrow. Now I'll be honest, this 4-4-2, I'm not really the biggest of fans of it because this doesn't really suit my playstyle. So if you come to this video for the first time and you're not used to my videos, I make new videos every single week. The key thing is to try a formation and see if it suits your style. If you used the 4-4-2 already, this would be the updated tactics. So now you've got a defensive variation or an ultra attacking version, the 4-4-2 second variation, and you have one, for example, to use maybe when you're drawing 0-0 or if you're losing 2-0. This would be a formation for you to use if you want to come back into the game. But anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching. Take it easy and I'll catch you next time. Peace out. Do not forget, I do have my social media links down below and I do stream on twitch.tv/NealGuides 1 PM UK time and sporadically during the weekend as well. Thanks for watching boys. Take it easy and I'll catch you next time. Peace out.